With this question, they're asking me to solve a system of equations, and if you remember back in algebra class, what that is two sets of equations, both with two variables, and they're expecting you to solve for both of those variables, in this case, x and y. So if you recall, the two forms of solving this are what we call elimination and substitution. So both are equally good ways to solve the problem, but sometimes one will be a little quicker than the other, and recognizing which one to use will just take a little practice. So in this case, I recognize that it's probably better to do elimination, but ultimately, again, it's up to personal preference. So I'm going to rewrite the question, and this time I'm going to align my variables next to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and get negative x plus 2y equals negative 19 for this bottom equation. And what I want to do is manipulate one or both of these equations to cancel out one of my variables. So in this case, I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by negative 2 in order to cancel out my y's. So when I do that, I go get 2x, now minus 4y equals now a positive 38. And I'll just drop the initial equation back down so you can see it a little more clearly. So at this point, what I want to do is simply add these equations together. So I'm left with 5x, and these y's, they're going to cancel. And on the other side, we're doing the same thing. We're going to be left with 15. So here is just simple solving. I'm going to divide by both sides, 5, and x will equal to 3. But I'm not really done because they want me to find y. But if you actually look at the answer choices, no other answer choice contains x equals 3. So right away, I already know the answer is going to be B. So let's say there were two answer choices with x equal to 3, and I had to solve for y. What I would have to do is just plug in this value for x back into one of these equations. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back into the first one. So I get 3 times 3 plus 4y equals negative 23. So I'm going to multiply this. I get 9 plus 4y equals negative 23. I'm going to subtract 9 to both sides. I get 4y equals negative 32. And finally, I'll divide by 4 to both sides. So I'm left with y equals negative 8, just like the answer choice here. So that's elimination, and we'll cover substitution in other problems.